projects in our pantheon. We've only got 10 minutes to go through them all. Panther Metals was established via an IPO December 10, 2021. We were drilling December 13, 2021. We have multiple projects in the Northern Territory and Western Australia. We are focused on nickel, cobalt and gold, so battery metals and precious metals. This is our team. Our board consists of Dr. Cameron Senna. He has a doctorate in inorganic gold. He's very well established in London as well with Ariana Resources, listed on the AIM. We have Ranko, our executive director, really experienced, has his own corporate advisory, and myself, I've done a lot of mining for precious metals and iron ore in Western Australia. I co-founded a consultancy called Merolia Mining Consulting, and that's how I've managed to develop some of these projects up. Right, here we are in the world. Now we're going to focus on Western Australia in this presentation because we don't have enough time for everything. So what we're looking at on the top left-hand side there is what we call the Red Flag Nickel Sulphide Project. We're about 3 or 4 months away, I estimate, from getting the access into there and to drill that. That butts up against the famous Poseidon nickel sulphide trend from the 1970s, and actually contains one of the ultramafic systems that comes off to the west through there. The little dot that's a vacant ground is a small mining lease, or largest mining lease actually, called Woodline Well, that's still with Poseidon. They, in 2011, developed up an NOI, notice of intent. They were going to go mine this. So we're on a stretch that we know all to the east is about 5 kilometres of strike there, and we're going to go drill that out. Laverton in the middle, that's where we are exactly in Western Australia. To the southeast, we have a stretch of about 40 kilometres of continuous leases there. It used to be known as the Commonwealth Gold Trend, or Merolia, but since finding our maiden, or discovering our maiden 70 million tonne nickel-cobalt resource, we've had to sort of differentiate that because it's not gold. All right, so this is our investment highlights. To date, we've been very busy. As I said, we were drilling December 13 after we listed. That was my penance for listing pre-Christmas and having everything ready to go. So we've really got 2 separate commodities that we're focused on targeting here now. And that's the battery metals is our primary at this stage, given the move forward and what's going to occur in the future. As it says there, 70.6 million tonnes of nickel cobalt is an inferred resource at the Coglia Project. It's nearly 500,000 metal tonnes, nickel metal tonnes equivalent, running at about 0.85% equivalency, using a 0.5 cutoff for both the nickel and the cobalt. We have a further 32 to 64 million tonnes as a JORC exploration target, so that's certified, and we have further targets as well to add to that. HPAL testing to date has given us a 92% nickel recovery without any beneficiation. So that's before you apply the Benny and you upgrade it. And we're well within cooey of Laverton, the Murrin mill that Glencore owns for nickel and cobalt processing. And we have sulphides to come in our drilling. Precious metals, for those are the gold bugs. I won't focus too much on those on this, given the time constraint, but we do have multiple gold projects in the area. There's 5 different gold mills. One of our recent projects, we did 600 metres, that's not a typo, 600 metres of RC drilling, discovered 3 new lodes next to an old, what do you call it, think Aussie gold hunters, a man and his dog sinking 2 shafts in the area, private show. They missed those 3 loads, we didn't, and there's good extensions of about 1 kilometre in strike out there. That's the ones with that grade of 1 metre at 478 from 27. We actually get 15 metres at 54 grams per tonne was the actual intercept. So we've got some great gold assets as well. There we go. Focusing on what we're doing in 2023, here's the big 4, Coglia, Burtville East, Red Flag and 40 Mile Camp. We are currently in a fundraise, a renounceable rights issue as of yesterday in Australia for 2.7 or up to $2.7 million. Most of that will go towards Coglia and Red Flag. We're focusing on the nickel first. We're doing 7,500 metres of target extensional drilling at Coglia. We're looking to substantially increase the resource out there. Now, I can't give you a number, but the JORC exploration target's 32 to 64 million tonnes, and there's another 2 targets out there. So we've got 70 now. You can imagine what we can go to. We are within the top 10 juniors in Western Australia, currently with a nickel-cobalt laterite resource. It's currently quite, it's economically viable as it is. We're looking to create that past the 1 million nickel tonnes equivalent mark with our drilling. We'll move to Burtville and expand some of that gold next after we deliver the MRE in September for Coglia. And then we'll head out to either 40 Mile Camp or when it's available, where we're just waiting on a couple of months to go for Red Flag to get in there and do a maiden drilling campaign. So we'll end up with a new nickel sulfide project at Red Flag, and we're looking to also have a discovery of a new gold and nickel district at 40 Mile Camp. Big year ahead. That's why we're doing some raising. Coglia Nickel-Cobalt Project, here it is in all its glory. Scale bars don't really do things justice in Australia. This is 5 kilometres of strike. It's quite a large laterite system that we've got. A total strike is about 7.5 kilometres. Some of the intercepts, 21 metres at 1.3, including some of those great peaks. We've got it, it's shallow. It slightly dips to the east. It's about 40 to 70 metres deep. It would be all free dig mining, truckable distance to Glencore's Murrin plant. There's a bit of a zoom out. We've since got the applications for the southeast and the west there as well. If you get to over 1 million nickel metal tonnes, this becomes a world-class asset and you're building your own mill. The great problem we have is that we're a micro-cap explorer that's discovered a 70 million tonne nickel cobalt resource. So it's quite difficult for us to make that step change, and that's why we're in Vegas at the moment to try and talk to the funds. The other nickel project we have here, our Red Flag Nickel Sulfide project. Now this is located to the west of Laverton, as I said, the northwest of that picture I showed last time. It lies between Windara South and Woodline Well, which Poseidon both have. The easternmost ultramafic system you can see on the right there, that's the traditional Poseidon, or the historical Poseidon nickel system that caused all the fuss at the end of 69, 70. Some of the sulfide hits out there historically are quite high, and they were actually going to mine this in 2011. That's where these figures come from. The price dropped out of nickel and they started focusing on Black Swan, Gold Swan, Silver Swan when they got the chance to. I'm going to hurry this right along. If you'd like to have a chat with me about any of these things, we are booth number 6. And you can grab a USB, all of this is on there, and we'll be on our website shortly. For those who are a bit more of a gold bug in the room, Burtville East is a great one to talk about. You can see the red lode there, that's what's mined out with those 2 shafts that were just stoped out by literally 2 men and their dog. They went in there, took the quartz out, really high-grade gold, left all those stockpiles, highly disseminated metabasalt so they can't crush them. We went in and drilled, and you can see some of those amazing figures we got. It's really quite crazy. That was from 600 metres of RC in a couple of diamond holes, really short diamond holes. We're going to go back in there eventually and extend that out. Currently, the geophys and the geochem shows a trend of about 500 metres to a kilometre of strike. So it's something we want to look at. Last but not least, with a minute to go, 40 Mile Camp. This is the new one, nickel gold prospect. We believe this is going to be a new district in the area. It's about 5 kilometres by 2.5 kilometres currently. If you include the new eastern area we discovered, it's now 5 by 5. So we did initially, before we took this company to IPO, we did a bit of work out there, did the geochem geophys. We're really impressed with what we saw. We're really excited. 40 Mile Camp does a bit of a dilational jog around there. It's a massive trap for the mineralisation that's been taken through that system with the ultramafics. We have a heritage survey booked in for May. Once that's complete, there's nothing stopping us going in there. Our permitting works, everything is done. So we'll go in there, do some drilling on a maiden prospect, and hopefully we'll get that gold we're looking for. It's certainly there. Northern Territory, I won't go through those or tell you why to invest in nickel. You all know. That's some of the visible gold panned from the Burtville East area. I just took a handful out of the cuttings and panned that. That was right there. But if you've got any questions, please let me know. And thanks for giving me your time. Cheers.